What's up? So, just gotta start expressing myself, man. It's been too long. I haven't been me. And I've said that in other videos, and I keep mentioning it. But you know, you just gotta start to. If you want to get out of something, you gotta dig your way out of your own fucking hole in your own cave, and the only way that takes place is by taking action. So, in the spirit of Independence Day, let's talk about the word independence. So one of these things that I'm going to be doing on this channel a lot is you got to deal with breaking down words, because we don't know what the fuck words really mean, and this is how we're controlled. This is one of the biggest control mechanisms out there, and we're told most of the times when we use certain words and we're not really dealing with the real meaning of the word. You're just dealing with a connotation or something. It's contextual. It's not the true original definition. So independence starts with the prefix. Let's break up the word. In. All in means is you're implying that there's something doesn't exist. So it's not or without, and it's saying that it's without the state of something. It's a state of consciousness, a way of being or a way of existing. So that's what in means. So independence, the other half of the word, just means control. A certain being is controlled or dependent. It's dependent upon another entity or what have you, a group, or it could be singular, plural, doesn't matter. So when you put the two together, you get independence, and all that means is it's without the state of controllers or external controllers or external rulers. So why am I bringing any of these things up? Why talk about this type of shit? See, this is basically the only thing that's been on my mind lately. I actually haven't been doing too much of anything other than trying to get my mind right. And I've been really cluttered because I find everything in this world to be a fat lie. Maybe not the world. I haven't traveled the world, so I wouldn't know. But based on what I know about the world and what I've experienced in reality, the majority of things we do are fucking pointless bullshit. And it's all dependent upon controllers and control systems. And there's plenty of information about this out there, and I'm going to be doing a lot of, I got a lot of homework to do because there's a lot of things I have to learn. But there's plenty of things out there that talk about, how school, jobs, the economy, the government, politics, all these things are control mechanisms. Religion, none of these things create any real independence. Not in America, they don't. Or in general, well, I can't say that. I don't want to say in general anywhere else. Any of those institutions, they don't create independence. And what I'm really trying to get after is they don't create freedom. None of these things create freedom, but yet we partake in them as if it's normal and it's okay. So what I'm trying to get at in this video with I gotta find a quieter place to record this shit sometimes, but fuck it. What I'm trying to get at in this video is the whole purpose of life, really, or what I'm finding my purpose to be is to create freedom. Or you could call it independence, freedom, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I know freedom's an ambiguous one. I'm gonna have to get to that one another time. But in the spirit of freedom and independence, I think the biggest problem for most people, because those things I listed before, government, politics, public schooling, the economy, or economics, the money system, the monetary system, religion, all these things, they're not made to create freedom. If you broke down those words, and I will another time, I'll do that in another video. If you break those words down, and you find out the real definitions of all those institutions and belief systems of belief, you'd find out that they're not here. They literally mean the exact opposite of freedom. And so today, hell, it's bad. I don't even know what 4th of July is actually completely about. I think I do. I think it's couple of them dudes said fuck Britain way back in the day, and they came over here and then murdered all them damn Indians. And a couple hundred years later, or several hundred years later, now we're here, it's 2016. But you know something, ain't shit changed. Ain't a fucking thing changed, and as a matter of fact, it's actually worse. It's actually worse off now than it was then, because, in my opinion, see, when you have violence and just real raw slavery, like, you know, civil rights, like, you know, white people and black people warring with each other. When you have groups warring physically with each other, you know, it makes people react more readily. See, nowadays, you have to be conscious. You have to have a conscience. You have to be aware, because the manipulation and the violence is no longer, it's not nearly as visible. It's a lot more covert. It's not, yeah, it's covert rather than overt. So what we're dealing with is we're dealing with a war basically on all of our individual souls, pretty much. It's what it is. It's soul control, consciousness control, mind control. And this is what those are what those institutions that I listed before want. That's what they're here for. They might not have always been like that. I haven't done enough research to know enough about every single one of them. But in the present day, these things don't serve us freedom. They create more and more control and more control and deeper levels of control. But like most people, the biggest control, back to independence, the biggest problem, or the biggest inflictor, the culprit or the perpetrator of continued control. So when you feel control being inflicted upon you the most, and you feel the most angst, when you feel the least like yourself, pretty much, there we go. Let's make it nice and simple. When you feel the least like yourself, where does this take place? Now recently, I've been staying with my grandmother. Now, that's a damn fucking saga, my family story, history. But what I've been dealing with recently is I'm trying to create this team. Now, what I've noticed from most people I talk to these days is they don't talk government and politics. They don't talk, like, I'm 23 years old. When I go to talk to my friends, or, you know, or give or take plus 2 years or minus 3 or 4, everybody's generally talking about the same shit. And they're talking about parents. They're talking about how, you know, they feel controlled around their parents because their parents just give them orders. They literally just control them, or they attempt to control them. Let me not say they control them. They attempt to control them through force, through violence, by giving orders and threats. And I just gotta say, man, listen, your parents probably don't give a shit about you. It's just straight up. They probably don't. They probably don't have empathy. They don't express love. They're probably divorced if you live in America. Most of my friends' parents are divorced. And if they're not divorced, then there's a real negative or a really fucked up relationship dynamic that is not based in any type of love. It's completely based in fear as to why parents, my parents and other parents of my friends, that generation, it's all based in, their relationships are completely based in fear. And when shit's based in fear, fear leads to anger, and then anger leads to, unused anger turns into hatred, and then hatred turns to evil, if not acted upon, if not dealt with. And so I just want to throw a couple of stories out there, man. One of my closest friends, I'm not going to put his name out there, but he's been dealing with some hard shit for almost a decade now. He's been on psychotropic drugs, and he's had problems with this. His family fucking also is on psychotropic drugs. I don't know if every one of them is, but I know he has a few siblings, and his mom are all drugged up on these big pharma so-called mental illness, solving medications. And what they really do is cause your brain to shrink. It causes atrophy of the brain. It causes a decrease of electrical or neurological activity in your frontal lobe, which is where your pineal gland is at, which is basically what allows you to have a conscience at all and actually understand reality and be a human being. And so, just to make this a lot shorter, this video's already long, he sent me a text the other day because I told him, I said, yo, let's start building this fucking team, man. You gotta get away from the negativity. You just gotta get away from it. You gotta get off these fucking pills. And he sent me a text message. I don't remember when, but it said something along the lines of, he says that I spoke to my mom about how I don't like to be on drugs. And apparently his mother's response was, oh, well, if you're not on drugs, I'm gonna kick you out the house. And basically just not help you in life with anything. And, okay. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? That's pure evil. It's pure fucking evil. It's pure evil. You have to fucking get away from that. Like, if my friend sees this video, I hope it hits him home, because and anyone else, yo, you're fucking, the bitch don't care about you, for one. She don't care about you. Second off, she don't care about herself. I mean, this is a narcissistic, pessimistic, control freak. I mean, oh my god, that's some Hitler type shit. I mean, you can't make this type of shit up. You fucking just cannot. It's just sick. What the fuck, dog? Your parents don't give a fuck about you. They don't. And instead of, not just they don't, they cannot. God damn it, low battery. They can't give a fuck about you. They cannot love you because they have no empathy. When someone threatens you with violence of that type of nature, or any nature at all, when someone threatens you with violence, they don't care about you. Okay? They never did. They were never capable of, and unfortunately, something took place in their life that turned them that way. They weren't born that way. That's a choice. Evil is a choice. Being a control freak is a choice. Being afraid is a choice. Not having courage is a choice. And I could rant on and on about this shit. But I just had to say that, yo, there comes a time when you just gotta get away from motherfuckers. Alright? I know, it's so hard for genuine human beings like myself to have an outlet. Most genuine human beings in history, when you hear about them, any person, very few, any people who've ever done anything to legitimately progress human consciousness forward, say a Jesus, Tesla, who else had great ideas, Einstein was great. I don't know that much about him. I don't think they didn't kill him though. John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, the list goes on, but anyone who's ever attempted to do anything righteousness or for the right, through righteous reasons or for virtue, has essentially had to go through all fucking hell. Now, in order to be a part of the team I'm creating, you have to be willing to just give it all up. I mean, you might just, you have to be willing to die for it. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you have to have that type of intent, because you're going to be dealing with, what we're dealing with is truth, plain and simple. You're dealing with truth. And when you bring truth to reality, you see who's good, you see who's not. You see who's virtuous. You see who's real. And once that happens and people aren't good and virtuous, well, you gotta fucking go if you're gonna make the fucking change. There's nothing else to be said. You have to get the fuck away from them. And I know this is harsh words, but it's the truth. You have to, I gotta say, I can't be nice about this shit. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, well your parents are gonna agree with you and then people are gonna help you. No, they're not. They're probably not. They're gonna abhor you. They're gonna lie about you. They're gonna make rumors about you. They're gonna talk about you. They're gonna spit at you. They might even try to fight you. They might even try to kill you. But you know what? Fuck it. Is it worth staying in a slave world in a fake reality? Like, is that life? Is that living? And then just working a job to make fake paper slave dollars and go eat more dead animals with sauce on them? Is that life? I know it's life for a lot of people who's gonna see this fucking video. It ain't gonna be life for me, man. I'm not trying to. I'm going to change this shit. Spark something out here. You gotta. Fuck, you just gotta get the fucking ball rolling. I mean, it's just. I guess the moral of the whole story is you can't, or to start the moral of the story, to begin the story at all, of change, you can't fucking be around people who don't want to change. And if that's parents, I mean, I'm sorry. I know that shit hurts. I mean, I don't really talk to either one of my parents. I haven't had a relationship with them since probably fucking never. Since never. They're divorced. They're both angry, full of hate and fear and regret, and just they didn't act upon their morals and their virtues. I mean, that's their choice. I mean, that shit hurts me to this day. It hurts. It's painful. But you know what? If you want to have an opportunity to have a real connection or a real relationship with anyone or anything, or do anything meaningful in life, you have to start to create space for yourself and say, okay, I need to get away from these idiots, you know, no matter, at whatever cost, because there's no greater, without, come on man, damn bugs, without truth in your life, and without independence, you can't really be you can't really be yourself. I mean, just think about it. Most people, or at least in my experiences, my friends, when you go back to your house and your parents, or most of my friends, we spend all of our time away from our parents on purpose. And sometimes you say, oh, well, you know, they're just annoying or whatever. But no, it's more than that. They're more than just fucking annoying. They're manipulative, controlling, cunning. It's like pretty much having an opponent or an adversary rather than a parent, or a friend, or someone who's emotionally available, which is what a parent is supposed to be, which is what all people are supposed to be, really. You know, if we all did that, well, the world, most of you idiots wouldn't even be able to recognize the damn world we live in. But yeah, man, that's my rant for today. There's gonna be a lot more of these rants. I'm gonna get better at this rant because I'm kind of emotional right now, if you can't tell. So I just gotta spit shit out so I can start to be clear-headed again, so I can actually articulate myself the way I'm capable of doing. But yeah, yo, you just gotta get away from idiots. I mean, what the fuck? Nothing's gonna change around idiots, because idiots don't want change, and the idiots that don't want change will become your adversaries. They will, and they will try to drag you down with them into their own dark pit of dirt and hell. If your fucking mother tells you that if you're not on psychotropic, brain atrophy causing meds that calcify your pineal gland, that she's gonna kick you out of, quote unquote, your own, or her house, first off, she doesn't give a fuck about you, or that person doesn't give a fuck about you at all. They're evil. You need to know that. They're fucking evil. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. They're evil. They're broken. They can be healed, but it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen the way you probably think you could make it happen. You can't just sit there around someone like that. It's the equivalent of being around like a narcissist, a constant narcissist, someone who just is a energy vampire, a leech. You can't be around people like that and try to move up, or try to make progress in your own life. It just doesn't fucking work. That's what I'm dealing with right now. But that's another video. Get to that one at some point. So, hope this means something to y'all. Subscribe. Or you do whatever y'all want, man. If this shit resonates with you, subscribe. If it doesn't resonate with you, then well, I don't know. Leave a comment. But yeah, man. A lot more of this shit to come. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.